Hi, here's ZAPY Speaking. Today, we're going to bring the last episode of our series of Presidentially Speaking. It's our feature of President Trump and the candidate Joe Biden for their 2020 presidential campaign. And by the time we tape this video, there's only 5 days left by everyone go to the voting. And that is the end. So today, Aaron and me here will cover the last debate from these two candidates and looking at how's their performance. And it's probably a very influential debating moment of this critical campaign in the history. Aaron here has never seen the debates, believe or not, he tuned out. I watched the whole thing, the 2 hours with wine and cheese. So I know it all. I'm hosting. I want to see Aaron's reaction. I highlight some timestamp for him. He will see it the first time.
Yeah, I feel like people need liquor to watch these things. All right, let's do it. Let's get in there.
500 plus kids came with parents. They separated them at the border to make it a disincentive to come to begin with. And this is the first president in the history of the United States of America that anybody seeking asylum has to do it in another country. That's never happened before in America.
We have to send ICE out and Border Patrol out to find them. We would say, come back in 2 years, 3 years, we're going to give you a court case. Yeah. They never come back. Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
The fact.
That's an offensive comment.
Yeah.
I mean, normally my thing is delivery, but a certain amount of audience awareness is important. I know that Trump has his supporters and they're going to agree with that statement. Like, yeah, only stupid people would come back. Although that's implying only stupid people want to get into your country, which is a weird thing to say. But a certain level of audience awareness is really important. And I guess he thinks his audience is going to agree with that. Otherwise, he wouldn't say it. But I tend to think that if he looks at the numbers in the polls, it's not going well. I'm not going to make a political commentary, but I think audience awareness is hugely important. If you're going to make a risky comment like that, you better be 100% sure that you're getting on the side of more people as opposed to opposing more people. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. In terms of the actual delivery, that's more intensity than I've seen from Biden before. So he's bringing more intensity. Like, he sounded legitimately angry. In the past, he sounded disappointed or just tired of something, like, oh God, this again, or just like disdainful. But this sounded legitimately angry or approaching anger, which is new. It's different. And of course, I like different. I'm a human being. Human beings like novelty. It's interesting to see. He delivered it well by leaning forward with it. And when you lean forward with an idea, I think that emphasizes that that's using not just your voice, and he did use his voice, that's using your body language to make an idea stand out. I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make when speaking is they think that to make an idea stand out, you change your voice. And that's a tiny part of emphasis. So if you really want to emphasize something, and you notice when I said really, my eyes opened wider, I turned my head, I opened my hands, I said really longer. I'm using my hands, my face, my voice. I'm using my whole body, hopefully, to emphasize an idea. And I think that's an important thing to do because it shows just how important the idea is. So I like that from Biden. I don't like where the camera is because eye contact is fleeting. They're looking at people who aren't off. It makes it hard for me to feel like the speaker is connecting with the audience. I do have to give Trump credit. He's looking around more. He seems to be engaging with more of the audience. I don't like how often he uses the phrases like, I don't know, or hedging phrases. Like, I hate to say that. That's a very unusual way of speaking that makes it feel like you don't know what you're talking about. If I say, I guess, kind of, I think, well, I don't want to say this. Well, it sounds like I don't believe what I'm saying, which I don't think is a good thing. He does obviously believe what he's saying, so he does account for that to an extent. I don't like the hedging words. I don't like the use of hedging words. But to each their own. If he wants to use them, he can use them. Between the two of them, it's short clips. I can't say much, but I think part of the issue is that I don't agree with the things Trump says, but I do like Biden more.
Well, that is the difficulty of give evaluation to the same speaker again, especially they hold the very different political view. And so what I'm going to try to do is I want to try to put myself as a way as possible and don't care about one political view here and see what I can come up with. What I have witnessed Biden speech over the past months is he's getting more and more energy. I don't know if it's really correlate with his poll numbers. He's getting more confidence, getting more charged, feeding off the audience, and or something else. He's getting more proper training in the speech. His energy level is very, very different. I can give a bit more context as in the whole debate there. He has no moment of looking direct to the camera. He knows where the camera is and building this direct eye connection with the audience. And that's quite impressive, to be honest, to see how he changed. So for this particular topic, he does sound like he cares a lot more. If you went back to our playlist, we featured some of his video, we both are like, does he even care? Is he know he's running for the president?
Yeah.
And that's our feeling, but right now he's on point. I don't know what has changed in his whole speech transformed. And that's incredible to see.
I tend to think that
Trump, I would say, just from the speed for most until later Biden catch up. What he fell short is a personal connection. It's not just you are a gifted speaker or you're gifted anything in this regard. Are you a human being or not? When someone make a specific comments, most people will shaking their head about what Trump said there. Although he did take a pause, he hesitated. It seemed like he's like, okay, I try to go for this. I'm gonna say it anyway. Could be in the personality he's playing here. Could be other things. I don't know, but I think what Trump fell short is the layer of the connection with the public, where Biden do have it, and he still to care. But before we don't feel like that, so I'm confused. When people transform their speech style like that, am I seeing the person, or am I seeing the person they want me to see? That's what I'm thinking right now, because there's a huge growth for probably close to 80 years old guy for Joe Biden. I think his age close to 80.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there is a big step in the improvement there.
Yeah, you got to commend someone for putting that effort. And I know what you mean. Like, is this really them? I know there's that question that appears, but you got to give someone credit for putting in the effort to improve. And
yeah,
like you say,
or it could be he was the person, then he get a skill to show who he really is.
Right, whatever it is, right? But
no way to know.
Because I think when we originally started talking about this, we were talking about who is the better speaker, and I tend to think, politics aside, because of especially now. In the beginning, I don't know who would have been better, because when we first started talking about these two, to be honest, Trump was better in the beginning because Biden just didn't seem like it was wooden delivery, right? And as much as I don't like Trump's style in general, Biden's lacked any emotion, which makes it so much weaker. But now I think Biden's better. His speaking is more focused. He stays on topic. His word choice is more poignant. He brings a variety of emotions that are more consistent with situations. He's doing a lot of things that he wasn't doing before, and he's doing them better. His body language works better. So whether or not, whatever your politics are, I don't think it matters. If you look at what makes a good speech outside of politics, Biden does more things that apply, that seem to work, in my opinion. And once again, I'm politically closer to Biden than I am to Trump. But at the same time, looking at it, if these were two of my students, I would be much happier with the one who had improved so much. So
Yeah, that's true. The other thing I want to really touch on is a subject we mentioned before. It's the dominance. This is a debate. The goal probably is, who come out over the top and stuff. Yes, it's gonna be covered by people's political view, but if just let's think about the speech performance and the energy level, and who's more persuasive? Who do you think can they come out on the top, independent of the politics?
I don't think either is persuasive, because their goal isn't to be persuasive anymore. I don't think either candidate thinks, and I'm not under the impression that the debate changes many people's minds anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is now about cults of personality more than it is about debating ability. What do I think is more compelling? Probably, and I think it comes down to politics. So I tend to agree more with Joe Biden, so I find his arguments more compelling. But people aren't looking at what he's saying.
So he is the contemplating. Yeah.
So people aren't looking at these things based on facts and evidence. They're looking at it based on, do I agree with this statement? Do I disagree with that statement? If there's anyone out there in the States who doesn't already know which candidate they support, I'm sure there are people, but I think there are very few, because people no longer make decisions based on what they say, on what these candidates say. They make decisions based on their politics. So if I were to argue about one being more persuasive, it's going to be politically biased, but I would argue probably Biden, because his speaking is better. And if speaking is better, I tend to find those people are more compelling. But nobody's making decisions based on debates anymore. I don't think. I could be wrong, but I don't think anyone makes decisions based on debates.
Well, that's totally fair. So I asked this question, want to get a qualitative measurement about how you think, and then we're going to bring in a quantitative measurement, and that's our card. And you lure in one of the card, the C, the counterpart, that persuade you a lot. So what will you evaluate each of the speaker when you're using the card method?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So content-wise, they're consistent with their audiences. I already knew everything they were going to say before they said it. I never saw this before, but the fact that they both said what they said, none of it surprised me. So their content's on message. It's not impactful. It wasn't delivered. It didn't come at me in an unusual way. 5 each. I don't care. Right? Their content means nothing to me, because I already know what they're going to say, because their job, like I say, isn't to convince anyone. It's to affirm their already existing supporters. For organization, I don't like Trump's use of hedging words. That takes away from his organization. I think Biden stays on message more, which is an organizational facet. I would give Joe Biden 6, Trump 5 again. You know what? Joe Biden 7. I'll be a little nicer. I know I've been mean to these people in the past. In terms of delivery, Biden is once again better. Trump has a style of delivery I find that is not compelling. So I would give Trump 4, Biden 7 again.
Oh, wow. So you truly think Biden is a way better speaker here? Okay, let me give a go here. Well, I will give Biden's content a bit higher, because I like the number he provides. He has a fact-based, whereas the Trump one is less fact-based. I think everybody knows after 4 years. So based on my profession, I prefer facts over fictions. I prefer facts over fiction just based on my profession. So I will give Biden that's 6.5 for Biden and Trump. Give for him 4. We're not having the facts, man. The organizational, I agree. Aaron say he doesn't like the hedging words and stuff, but that pause from Trump is actually built a bit suspension. I think that pause I tend to view polls as sort of organization, give us space to breathe, while Biden's one is more like a continuous facts and fact with a bit more emphasis. So I tend to give the organization be better for Trump's purely for spiritual. I don't agree of how he said those things. So I will say 6 for the organization just because that nice pause. It actually draw my attention. In Biden's, I still need to catch myself. Pay attention, pay attention. As I say to myself all the time. So I'll give Biden probably 5.5, Trump 6. Similar. The delivery here, yes. Although I think debates about outperform the other debaters, but that is a line there is about do you reason with that or you just purely establish a dominance just to be aggressive, and that's something I don't encourage. So Biden come across with good energy, with good facts, and good reason to persuade. And that delivery comes through. I enjoy it really much. I agree with Aaron for 7 points to Biden. Trump here now 4.5 maybe. He has the energy. He's always has the energy. He's always charged, but it came across as aggressive now, and that it's a bit disappointing. So then the final scores here, well, Joe Biden wins by almost 20%, 6.3. Trump is 4.75. I don't know if this coincides with the poll number of Biden leading or are we biased? I don't know. But this is when the number comes out to be. Number don't lie. It's all about our interpretation now. So let's see this final performance. I think in last video we think Biden's outperform as well. And we don't know if that affect any final voting result at all, but we will see.
I tend
probably doesn't matter in the end.
I think there might be a small group of people who are worried about Joe Biden's faculties, mental faculties, and him increasing his performance might reassure them. I really don't know how many people it's actually going to impact, though. I do want to commend him on his improvement. I think that it's important to improve.
Yeah.
And it's if you put it
so
improve. Speaking is not a skill that you're either born with or without. It's something you can work on, irrelevant of age or ability. I have worked with kids and adults. I've worked with all age groups, and I've seen improvement in all of them. So I think it's commendable that he did improve, and I think it's important to remember that anyone can.
Yeah. Well, for any audience want to know more detail of what we're talking about, in our older video, we features Biden's speech. There's always a full link below, and you can go back and have a look. He quite improved tremendously. He probably have very outstanding coach, but if he's not keen to learn, he's not going to deliver that himself. Mm-hmm. So that is a very, very impressive improvement, as we can see from the speaking coaching perspective. And that's what I didn't expect when we begin this whole series.
Yeah. Either way, this is the closing.
Oh, well, do you have any final thoughts? Yeah. It's only a few days away.
Yeah, I mean, as a Canadian, there's not much I can do, but it's stressful. More stressful than the BC election we had like 2 weeks ago or a week ago. I don't even know when it was. I don't care.
I think it's this week.
Yeah, I voted in it, but I didn't care. Weird.
Oh, yeah, you probably voted 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I did mail in. But either way, it's the end of it. I think that Biden did better overall in terms of his speaking. Of course, I'm hugely biased, but either way, the closing thoughts are work at it. You can improve, and whoever you're voting for, get out there and vote if you're in the States.
Yes, go on and vote. Well, here's the ZAPY Speaking. This is our coverage for the 2020 campaign. And we will see you next week about what turns out. We might not know by the end of next week. It's going to be a long count.
Yeah, we'll find out.
But we will see. We will see and touch base with all of you guys next week. Well, here's ZAPY Speaking. Stay fishy out there.
Stay fishy.